Rage on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yeah. So it goes man, woman, camera, person, TV. Yeah. Simple like that. Yeah. Man, woman, camera, person, TV. And then it means you've got a big brain, you see? Oh, hello there, chat. Welcome. I didn't see you there. I hope you are all well. How is everybody? Welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat, episode 23. That's like 3, 2, 1 then. Yeah, 23 with me, your host, Clive Illenden, of course. And join me as we get shrunk down to the quantum level and go inside the brain of Stadia. As you can see, I've had the decorators in. Yeah, we got rid of the fridge. Say hi in chat. I see chat's been chatting away, which is what it's there for. That's good. Hope the sounds are okay. Hope you are okay. Any questions? Let me know what games you've been playing. I know some people already been putting that down. That's really great. Have a conversation amongst yourself. Feel free in the chat. That's what it's there for. Avail yourself to the super chats, as I say every week. It's more than welcome. Special shout out, as ever, to my channel members. Arigato gozaimasu. As ever, thank you for your continued support. And make sure you flex them channel member emotes and badges in the chat. Right, this week, ladies and gentlemen, I have been playing. What have I been? I've been playing a lot of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So I bought it in the sale, which is quite nice. So it was a bargain, really. I think it ended up costing me about 12 quid in the end, so that's not bad. And of course, they've got the new added AI characters, which I really enjoy having him there. There's something very satisfying about doing a synchronized snipe of 4 enemies and sort of creeping about and stuff like that. It's really cool. I played it on the Xbox. I think it must have had a free trial on the Xbox when it launched, because I wouldn't have bought it. And I enjoyed the opening sequence, and then I got to the hub, and then I found the hub really frustrating because I could never find the exit. But I'm over that now on the Stadia version. I found the exit. I quite like doing the missions. It's got that, Assassin's Creed, but all those ones where you sort of open world, do lots of different missions, and I'm really enjoying it. A couple of bugs I found in it. Whenever I try to go prone near a tree, my character ends up doing a headstand, and it looks most bizarre. Anyway, there we go. That's it. Of course, Orcs Must Die 3. I've been loving that. That is such a good game, such a fun game. In fact, my son saw me playing it, and then he wanted straight away. He was like hooked. He said, "Right, I want to play." And this is the first game on Stadia that sort of dragged him away from the Xbox. So he plays Destiny on 2. I mean, he's been grinding Destiny 2 with his mate over the last weekend on the Xbox, because his mates are on the Xbox and stuff like that, and plays Fortnite and Overwatch and things like that. So there's nothing on Stadia that's necessarily attract him away, because all the games his mates play are on the Xbox. But Orcs Must 3 he absolutely loves. Obviously, he's much better at it than I am. He's creamed through loads of levels already. And he was even saying, look, how can I get my mate to play this? How can I get my mate? He was even asking me, how do we get his mate to sign up to Stadia? And I was saying, of course, has he got a computer? Has he got good internet? He could do it for free, and you and your mate could play. Just sign up to Stadia, plus loads of other games for more months. Simples. But he loves it. So if you play Orcs Must Die 3, and you see the rankings, and you see me above the rankings, then wipe them tears away, because hey, it's not me. Yeah, it's my son. He's ranked me up really high because he's playing as me. And of course, been playing PUBG. Many of you come and watch me on the Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, where I regularly play PUBG, not very successfully, but we have a laugh, we have a good time with, of course, the beautiful Yoshida joins me, and then some of our channel members have been joining us as well, and occasionally my son joins in on the Xbox. That is the beauty of crossplay. Come on, Destiny. I know crossplay is coming to Destiny 2, but it can't come soon enough in my view. Anyway, but there we go. So what have you been playing? Any chance of a comparison of a virtual and physical garage? Okay. What? This is my garage. Well, there's just one spaceship in here. Yeah, exactly. No, this is my garage. Yeah, yeah. I've knocked through. I've got rid of the fridge and I've knocked through. Nice use of the emotes and badges there, Dave. Very good. Christopher's been playing Crater, Zombie 4. I've got to go back to Zombie 4. That's the trouble with so many games keep coming out. I've sort of left Assassin's Creed on the bubble there, Zombie 4 on the bubble, before that Doom Eternal on the bubble. Who says there's not enough games on Stadia? Jeez. Anyway, good to see everyone's playing games. Shall we get on with the news? That's what we're here for. Some news, some views, and some opinion. My unique take, apparently, according to Cloudy with Games. Yeah, I have a unique take, and I'm happy with that description. So, you know, every week when I sit down to write this show, you write the show? Yes, I write the show. Jesus Christ. I'm always surprised at how much fresh news and info there is about Stadia. Like even today, I was having to update my show notes throughout the day, and you know, it's like a drug. It is like feeding our addiction for Stadia info, and it's making us crave more. There's so much information, and then we consume it all, and then we're like a sugar rush. We want more sugar, please, more Stadia info, and it makes us crave so much Stadia info. And you know, it's like, oh, that last hit, man, it's never enough. It's never enough, man. That last hit, and this week is no exception. Despite the fact that we had a Stadia Connect, a couple of weeks ago, the news just keeps coming. So this week, of course, saw the launch or the announcement of some new games. Very exciting, of course. We love new games. Let us have a look what is on offer. Of course, we've got, let's plot that there. And let's have a look at the news. There we go. Of course, we've got Super Hot. Super Hot comes back with Mind Control Delete. Time moves only when you move. I love Super Hot as a game. I think it's really cool. But the one drawback of Super Hot was, of course, it's quite short. I mean, it's a brilliant, clever game, and it's quite short. But have no fear, that was an open access version of the game, apparently. So now, much bigger than its predecessors, Mind Control Delete immerses you in its world for days of increasingly explosive slow-motion combat, more mechanism at your disposal than ever before. Experiment with different play styles, character builds, which is quite interesting, different ways to outsmart and dominate your enemies. More polish applied over nearly 4 years of early access development. Mind Control Delete offers a more refined, sharper, flashier experience than any Super Hot so far. So I'm quite looking forward to that. That's quite exciting. The fact that it feels like this is the actual game they wanted. Of course, the other big game, Sniper Elite. Rebellion. This has got a real, you can almost tell by its design style that it's a Rebellion game. It's got that look. Of course, they brought us Zombie Army 4. I am right with that, aren't I? Yeah, definitely. And massive World War II map. The most advanced World War II shooter ever built. The largest and most advanced. That's bold, considering there's been massive Call of Duty World War II kind of sort of setting. Not Call of Duty. I'm trying to put what it's called now. But anyway, the big World War II set movies, games and stuff. So it's quite bold to say the largest and most advanced World War II shooter. But I just love the overworld. And these kind of, you know, slow-mo, bullet time, X-ray type stuff, I think is really cool. And the fact that you could play with a co-op version of 2 to 4 players as well, that's going to be really exciting. Be able to coordinate your different players around the game as stuff. So you can adaptively seam to any combat situation. So a bit like Hitman, I guess, where you can use your imagination, and it's not just all about the snipes. It's about different ways of, you know, blowing up tanks, taking people out with a knife, all that kind of stuff. So that's really great. Sniper Elite 4. I know it's a slightly older game, but it's a, you know, good to see it on. Good to see Rebellion sort of going back and saying, "Hey, Stadia, you like zombies? We've got these other games as well. Zombie 4. We've got these Zombie Army 4. We've got these other games." And then, of course, this Strange Brigade. Now, this to me is really, really interesting. It's got that kind of slightly Lara Croft feel, but it also reminds me of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. If anybody knows that comic book, there was a badly made film, unfortunately, with Sean Connery in it. But the concept of that sort of Edwardian Victorian explorer superheroes, so sort of that superhero team, but set in an Edwardian Victorian time, you know, old, there used to be a Michael Palin series. This is only for older people, but anyway, sort of old schoolboy adventure sort of stories. I love that whole kind of approach and aesthetic, and I think it's really cool. And again, in this you've got co-op play as well. The other thing I like about it is the diversity of the character, the cast. So here we are, Sateki, the Queen, Sateki, the Witch Queen, ladies and gentlemen, has risen once again, and only one troop of daring heroes can stand against her fearsome army of mummified monstrosities, the Strange Brigade. Explore remarkable ruins, solve perilous puzzles, and uncover tantalizing treasure while blasting your way through an array of undead enemies in thrilling third-person shooting action. So again, as I say, you've got this mix of, I think, of co-op play as well. Explore alone, team up with 2 to 4 players, online co-op for a gripping adventure, unleash the devastating magical powers, and unload powerful prototype weapons such as the fire-spitting Krakatoa, the ice-cold Chillburster, and the brain-busting Blunderbuss. Strange Brigade. There we go. Pretty impressive, if I must say so myself, these games. As I say, I'm surprised that sort of flew under the radar, really, that of when it was released. And again, I know it's, you know, couple of years old, I think, but I think it's, thank you, Ripping Yarns Rock. That was what I was thinking of. Michael Palin's Ripping Yarns. That's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you. See, we're of the same age group, same generation. That's why we got that. So I think that's really cool that we've got, again, as I say, like none of these games were mentioned in the Stadia Connect, and now it's been a week or two after it, and here we go. And some of these are releasing really soon as well. So that's, you know, pretty impressive. As I said, the games keep coming, and we shouldn't be surprised by this. And I know, you know, a lot of people, as I said earlier, we're sort of so addicted to Stadia news that we forget that we're getting a constant stream of stuff every week. If it wasn't for that, like Stadia content creators like myself or The Rock or Cloudy, we'd have nothing to write about, nothing to say. But there's this constant flow of news. But I think we're beginning to take it all for granted now. And remember, we shouldn't be surprised by this constant flow of games, because they said in January there'd be 120 games by the end of the year. And okay, give or take the impact that COVID-19 may have had on actually hitting 120, I think we're going to be there or thereabouts. And as when deals are signed as well, what we forget is that deals are going on all the time. You know, Stadia, the team in Stadia are constantly working with the developers. There are games that, you know, that I'd love to know. I mean, it's so frustrating because they've got a whole shed load of games that are coming, but they haven't finished the deals. Well, they're not ready to make those, not just they just haven't signed the deals or just sort of crossed the T's, dotted the I's yet on them. So I think that's a really exciting thing. And I think when the deals are signed and the dates agreed, Stadia will let us know. This is an ongoing project to build out a games library. You know, the competitors have had at least 5 years of the current generation of games, you know, the current generation of consoles to build out over the 5 years, let alone the 15 to 20 year legacy of those platforms. And Stadia is like 8 months old. So I think it's fairly dumb, and I'm going to say it because I do say these things. It's fairly dumb to moan at old games coming to Stadia when you know the new games are coming as well, many day and date. You can't build a library of games based on just new releases. That would just take too long. That's ridiculous. You need to build and curate your library with recent titles and award-winning titles. And that is exactly what Stadia is doing. And you know who else does that? Who else brings recent, older games to their platform or their catalogue? And award-winning indie games to their game service? Xbox Games Pass. And I noticed today as well, the PlayStation Network, or whatever it's called, PS Now, they're introducing older games to flesh out their library. At Xbox, I saw an Xbox video from one of their employees who, and I forget the exact title, but it goes along the lines of Xbox Games Pass Curator. Yeah, her actual title is Curator. They're curating a library of games that makes the library feel versatile, wide, with many choices and many games. New games have arrived on Stadia. New games are constantly coming. Recent games from the last couple of years are being added. Award-winning indie games are being curated. So you have a range of games to suit all tastes. So just remember, just because your game, your favorite game is not there, yeah, I'd love Apex, and maybe it will come. Or Hyperspace, yeah, maybe that will come. Or Call of Duty or Overwatch. And you know what? I see no reason why those games will not come to Stadia, if the deals can be done. Hell, they may be actually being done now. I mean, don't forget, there are at least 2 more EA games to be announced. And I think probably more. But at the time when Phil said it in the April Connect, Phil, like he's my mate, Phil, in the April Connect, he was probably only in a position to announce 2. You don't think they're going to say, okay, we'll do two games and that was it. They're obviously having ongoing conversations with EA. So we know we've got another 2 big EA games. EA don't do small games, really. I imagine they're going to be fairly, decently large EA games. So we know they've got to come. So this also highlights to me the business model of having a mix of free games under Pro and the option to buy games, and why that's crucial. Because in order to have AAA games available to play on your service, the cost to bring AAA games day and date and make them pro games would be ridiculously high. And it doesn't make good economic sense to say, hey, we'll make FIFA Pro. I mean, that would just be like madness, and EA wouldn't agree to that. Why would EA agree to that? But the fact that you could play FIFA on Stadia makes more business sense, because the people who want to play FIFA on Stadia will buy it. And at least you can offer that, hey, get Stadia and these games are on, these AAA games are on Stadia. Don't forget, we've got, and I think sometimes forget this kind of, kiddie games, different games, or, I saw someone on Facebook say, oh God, like when they announced the games I've just announced. Oh, why are you all bringing first-person shooters? It's like, okay, so you don't like first-person shooters. But it's not all first-person shooters. There's a variety of games on there. If you like your Octopath, if you like your Celeste, your slightly more cerebral or challenging indie platforming games, then they're there as well. But just think about it. We've got, in the next few months, right, over the next few months, we've got Cyberpunk, Marvel Avengers, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs Legions, FIFA, Madden, the big AAA games launching to all platforms, including Stadia, over the next few months. I took a look at all the big, well, actually, what I did, I went to Stuff magazine, stuff.tv. It was the first thing I did. I just went top AAA games launching over the next 6 months. And when you take out all the exclusives, Breath of the Wild 2, rumoured, Halo Infinite, you know, take that out. Spider-Man Miles Morales, PlayStation, take that out. When you take out the exclusives and you just look at the cross-platform, not the cross-platform, the multi-platform released AAA titles, all but one or two of them, and we don't know about those one or two, they might be coming to Stadia, are coming to Stadia. So just, you know, if you have, I'm sure you know that, but just don't forget it. Put it at the front of your mind, not at the back, yeah? And if you see people moaning about it, just remember, over the next few months, between now and sort of Christmas, January, February, all the big AAA games that are getting launched, give or take one or two, are all coming to Stadia. Anyway, talking of games and pro service, of course, it is the last week of July. So what's that mean, ladies and gentlemen? It's Stadia Pro week. Yes, this week. So usually on the Thursday, no, it's a few days before. What is with the 27th? So maybe the Thursday. Yeah, let's say the Thursday, I think. Hopefully they'll announce what the pro games will be for August. So what we do know we've got coming in August, we've got Strange Brigade. Wow, I'm excited. Rebellion must have had that in their pocket for a while. Hello, Robert Kelly. How's it all going there? Holtz, Dave, Dre, Want to Escape. Yeah. Dazadini, Jerome, Yoshida, of course, Rock. Everybody, welcome. I'm not ignoring you. I'm reading my script. Strange Brigade, which I just mentioned there, 1st of August. 1st of August. Zombie Army 4 was a Stadia Pro game. Who thinks Strange Brigade might be a Stadia Pro game? It seems odd to launch it on the 1st of August. I don't know, so we can speculate here. So Strange Brigade is coming on the 1st of August, I believe. Relicta. Who remember Relicta? Do you remember Relicta when it was announced? 4th of August. Rock of Ages 3, Make or Break. Wasn't Rock of Ages, wasn't that announced as a pro? I've forgotten now. I should have done my research. I apologise. Cloudy? Wasn't Rock of Ages announced as a pro? Yeah, you like the. I said I've decorators in, Eddie. Relicta. Rock of Ages is 14th of August. PGA Tour 2K21, 21st of August. And Windbound. They're doing they're tweeting a lot of clips and little excerpts and extracts from the game, I noticed, Windbound. That's the 28th of August. So, first we've got Strange Brigade, Relicta, Rock of Ages, PGA Tour, and Windbound, all releasing in August. At least one of those. Thank you, Want to Escape. Thank you. Yes, confirmed. Rock of Ages. So Rock of Ages we know is a pro, although it's a pro in the middle of the month. So it's a middle of the month pro game. So I think maybe Strange Brigade, since they gave us Zombie Army 4, I think Strange Brigade could be a pro game, and then Rock of Ages, and maybe a surprise. Who knows? Am I being greedy? Are we being greedy now? Because it was only ever meant to be 1 or 2 games. And hopefully Baldur's Gate, says Want to Escape, of course. We've also, of course, possibly Serious Sam is meant to launch in August. And, oh, I've got here my notes here. Baldur's Gate. Yeah, Baldur's Gate is actually in my notes. I'm reading it right here. And then, of course, there is the mystery of Destroy All Humans, which is meant to release, and this is one of the things I'm talking about, having to update this script. Destroy All Humans is meant to release tomorrow. but there's no announcement. I think Serious Sam could be Eddie. I think it could be a good shout. Maybe Rock of Ages, Serious Sam, and Strange Brigade. Let's call it. That's what I'm going for. Three pro games. Yeah, Strange Brigade, Serious Sam, Rock of Ages. That's what we're doing. Yeah, exactly. I'm just proving. I'm testing out Elon Musk's Starlink. I'm just obviously I have to sit near the Wi-Fi on the satellite. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying is going to be. No, I'm speculating. Just be clear, I'm speculating. I'm guessing. I'm playing the guessing fun game. But yeah, Destroy All Humans is meant to release tomorrow. But there's no confirmation. And if you watch Cloudy with Games, posted a YouTube video, but what, half an hour, 45 minutes ago, saying that it had no news or update on it. Now, that doesn't mean it's not launching tomorrow on Stadia, because you know what Google are like. So here are the options. I think that they could just drop it tomorrow. I don't know why they wouldn't say it's coming tomorrow, but maybe they just want to drop it. Or they're holding it back until the 1st of August, and it could be a pro game. But I've selected 3 pro games, so I'm not adding that. So who knows? But it does seem weird or strange. I don't think it'll be a massive delay if it is delayed. But it is, as I say, it was meant to release tomorrow. I know some people do know. I don't know whether you're ever under embargo, want to escape. But I think some people do know, put it that way. But they're under embargo. And I won't say who. It's not me. But I could read their mind like a poker player when I spoke to them about it. So, yeah. So Destroy All Humans could be tomorrow. Could be a pro game in August. Or option 3. I'm not sure what the hell is happening. Considering Destroy All Humans was one of the games that they had way back last year in all those games coming to Stadia and all the marketing material coming to Stadia. So that's the other thing. The other thing is Cake Bash from CokeSync, who brought us Get Packed. Has been, there we are. So this has been has had a certification in one of the people who go around hunting the various national certification websites. Cake Bash from our friends at CokeSync, so it's a good shout. Potentially, no, that was just a little clip. I'll play it again. Potentially launching on Stadia, so that's a rumor based on the fact that, as I say, they've had a rating, a certification made for the game with the view saying it's coming out on Stadia. So we could be seeing this. That looks kind of fun and crazy. I'll just go back to space. And again, it's all part. It's very much in line with some of the Stadia sort of family-orientated party games, the co-op games, silly games. You know, it's got that Get Packed feel to it. Outcasters, it's got that feel to it as well. Lots of fun co-op, shiny, bright. Yeah, they look a hell of a lot of fun to play as well. If I'm honest with you, so that had a rating on the US site, I think, and then RBI Baseball 20. I'm not familiar with RBI Baseball 20. I haven't looked it up. But that had an ESRB rating for Stadia. Anybody played RBI Baseball 20? Strange. I don't know that in particular. So those are games. So those are in the rumor section, yeah? Cake Bash, RBI. I've forgotten August as well in my list of August titles. Mafia 1 and 2. Was it 2 and 3? I was going to put it up. Mafia's coming in August as well. Jesus, August is a great month. Strange Brigade, Relector, Rock of Ages, PGA Tour, Windbound, Mafia. 6 games in August. August is meant to be a quiet month. Like generally in business, everybody goes on holiday. Completely forgot about Mafia. Apologise. August the 21st. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Nakinu. Right, the other thing, other update is, again, I'm going to borrow here from Cloudy. Don't mind me, Cloudy. Wavebreak gets an update. Now, this is quite interesting because the developer here is, it's not your standard update in terms of just a few bug fixes. I mean, there's bug fixes that have gone on, but they've also listened to the feedback from its initial launch. Considering this is a sort of Stadia-only game, timed exclusive to Stadia, they've listened to feedback from the community and then gone back and patched things. So now it has HDR support available, biggest combo stat, more reward money for scores, adjusted grinding difficulty for lower stats, simpler restart round option, added character select before campaign mission, fixed visual issues, so that's your bog standard sort of bug fixes, minor performance improvements. We'll be continuing to make improvements to Wavebreak from your suggestions. This is really cool. The fact that you're having instant sort of feedback, and the fact that they could, I think the Stadia gives you that flexibility as well to be able to kind of do it, feed it straight down. There's no waiting for those patches. Just sort of you go back to the game and hey, it's all patched for you. You don't have to download the patch or wait anything like that. That's really cool. So you can get those sort of fast turnaround response times, and it's really good to see a developer responding to the community. We'll be continuing to make improvements to Wavebreak from your suggestions and feedback, and remember to join our Discord, blah, blah, blah. So that's really cool. So that Wavebreak, I've not played it yet, to be honest, has had some updates. So that's kind of cool. And then the other big, I don't want to say news, rumor, but exciting rumor, and let me know what you think about this in the chat. The other big exciting rumor and news is Uplay Plus. Now we know it's coming to Stadia. The question is, when is Uplay Plus coming to Stadia? Well, it could be, and again, all of this you have to take with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying this is, certain whatever, but our friend Jem, everybody knows Jem, who's been Jem the YouTuber. Jem, that's what you are. I've decided to call you. You are a YouTuber. It's official. He's been digging around the bins behind this Stadia site code. And what did he find, ladies and gentlemen? What did he find? Well, I'll show you what he found. This. So he was digging around and he found this page. Now, to be honest, I've checked this page out, so I'm not sure if they've gone back and tweaked it. You couldn't access the page of it, according to Jem, when he was looking behind the scenes. You couldn't access the page, but as is often the case, the web page is named for the tab. Yeah, so even though you might be denied or the page might be locked out to you, the tab name at the top of the browser is still there. And if we look at the tab name, oh, I'm losing my hand there. If we look at the tab name there, Uplay Plus Games. So there is a hidden page, according to Jem, in the underlying source code behind Stadia. There is a hidden page that is labeled Uplay Plus Games on the Stadia Games Store. So what do you think? Is that, we can't, I think what we need to do, because there's a few other things that Jem has found in previous videos, that we haven't seen light of day yet. So, and he's been doing this for couple of months, and there's some stuff he's found has sort of come to fruition, but there's some stuff that hasn't come to fruition yet. The other thing he found was some family sharing stuff, which is quite exciting, and possible free-to-play games as well, which is very interesting because it could be, we can speculate, speculate that would open the door to us, you know, Apex, please, Fortnite type free-to-play game, or it could be another scenario similar to that. But anyway, that's what Jem has found in his most recent video. Go and check that out. Jem does some sort of great work, but as I say, always take it with a pinch of salt, because we don't know what they're actually doing in terms of setting up these pages. They could be placeholders, could be I mean, presumably this is a placeholder page waiting, and you know, when Uplay's ready to go, but we don't know how far advanced they are with the placeholder page. So that's the key thing. That's the thing we have to bear in mind. So just, you know, bear it in mind, as they say. Take it with a pinch of salt. But it's exciting to know that these things sort of exist in the background, and therefore are coming. Not, I wouldn't necessarily say pending, but are coming. But let me know, what do we think? I noticed some people, you know, saying Uplay Plus, I don't want to pay another subscription. I've got lots of Ubisoft games. I think, again, you know, it may not be for you. There are always, you know, like, how many times have you bought, you know, a game you've bought from Stadia and then it becomes a pro game? You know, maybe twice, maybe once. But, you know, you just have to accept that. It's good to have the choice. And I think when, you know, especially when people go, oh, but there are 100 games on Games, you know, Games Pass, equally old games, as well as the only new games on Games Pass are internal studio, first-party studio releases on Games Pass, which isn't a bad thing. That's great, and that's their, you know, the business model they're driving to. And the same with Stadia. We'll see, you know, first-party which we are seeing already, first-party games only on Stadia as well. But there's, you know, that's the key thing is, if you have Uplay Plus, I think it gives options. It makes it an interesting platform, just gives you another option. And in fact, if Uplay Plus is a £5 and you're paying like £8, the cost of Uplay Plus plus your Stadia Pro works out about the same price as Xbox Ultimate Games Pass. That's assuming you're going to pay a £5 and it's not, as Rock has suggested, could be folded into Xbox Stadia Pro. I mean, that would be amazeballs if it is. I can see a trial folded into Stadia Pro. I think it would be bold, and it would be Google laying out the money there to Ubisoft to get it bundled in with the Stadia Pro. But just as an option, you know, even if you have to pay a little extra, I think it's a great option to have, because then you know you're getting day and date the big Ubisoft games, because they're going to want to make it as accessible to as many people as possible. So I think that's really cool. Holt says, I expected a September trial. It's funny because I suspect a September trial because Ultimate Games Pass launches in September. And often when a company, you know, let's say a competing company, I don't mean that, you know, a company in the same area, the same space is a better way of, for me personally, of describing it. You know, you often do something to undercut them. PlayStation do it all the time with Xbox. Xbox will make a big announcement and PlayStation will go, oh yeah, hold my beer, and they'll make a little big announcement. So I could see it coming out to sort of, just to keep the value of Stadia Pro, or the validity of Stadia Pro, or just Stadia, in the mind of people at the same time as Ultimate Games Pass. So I can see that. I can see that happening. Rock says, chat, what background do you think Clive should have in Generation X Retro? I found a perfect background. Unfortunately, I have to pay for it, Rock. It's a premium one. I found it was really cool, a moving one. Games Master. Good call, Jakey. Good call, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to get it to work in OBS. Ninja. Anyway, that's a different story. That's for tomorrow's show. Anyway, one thing, there we are. So Uplay Plus, discuss amongst yourselves what you think. I think it's quite exciting. I'm just going to go over here. Why is that not? Let me just, chat's never coming through. Patrick Moore. Oh yeah, with the eyeball and the sort of helmet on, the space helmet. Very good, yeah. Now there's one thing I want to make a recommendation to you. I put it in the description. I'm going to put it actually in the chat. I'm not going to release it now into the chat, but I'm just putting this into the chat now. So I really recommend a video that I want you to watch straight after this. And if you haven't seen it, that is, of course, it's the Nerf Report, aka Bryant Chapel. I'm going to put a link in the chat for you. It's a really intelligent, thoughtful piece that questions the blurring between opinion pieces, usually ill-informed diatribes, and actual journalism. You know, bothering to use things like real facts and checking things out, which, if applied to Stadia, would result in videos like, oh, it actually works really well. Wow. Oh, look, how many games are there already on the platform? Oh, and as promised, the features they talked about being rolled out over time are being rolled out just like they said. Rather than, Stadia has latency and lag, there are no games, none of the features they promised arrived on day one. Bollocks, yeah? Anyway, it's a really good and a must-watch video, and I highly recommend you watch it. It's so, he nails it. He nails it about how some people confuse opinion pieces with some kind of journalism. And then they use that sort of opinion piece clickbaity headline as a way to get you to that article, which isn't backed, as we have known, as I've proved, as MM2K has proved so many times, that articles masquerading as journalism are in fact opinion pieces. And opinion pieces don't necessarily have to rely on facts. And as you lot know, I'm a man of facts. I want my facts. I like facts, truth, information. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there's the video. Watch it straight after this. Highly recommend it. And on that note, that leads me to a bit of science. Today's lecture, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to blind you with science. And it's an interesting piece of science, psychology, neurology that I came across. And it kind of relates to Stadia and clickbaity negative titles and negative news and all that kind of stuff. But it will serve you well for life in general. And it's this. It's interesting that despite all the positive news, the Stadia news, all the positive Stadia news, I've just listed 3 games that are coming, like a week after Stadia Connect, virtually a week after Stadia Connect. About 6 games, I'm not going to bother counting them, at least 6 games that are coming in August. Like, we know all these other features are coming, you know, Dead by Daylight and the crowd play and the Outcasters game is going to be launched soon. We know all that. Good news, good news, good news. All this good news stuff, yeah, it far outweighs the negative, yeah. All the good news Stadia stuff far outweighs the negative. But people, and maybe even you, even me, even you, focus on the negative. And some people seem more afflicted with this than others. So, have you ever considered why that is? Well, they're miserable bastards. No, they're not miserable. That's rude. I won't have that. It's science. Why in life people look to the negative? Well, there's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's not Stadia, yeah? It's not you. It's your brain.
Let me educate you. Neuroscientific evidence has shown that there is greater neural processing in the brain in response to negative stimuli. Studies that involve measuring the event, event-related brain potentials called ERPs. That's when they stick electrodes in your head. You know, when they've got that sort of a swimming kind of hat on with all the electrodes in, yeah? And they're measuring the brain's response. So studies that involve measuring ERPs, which show the brain's response to specific sensory, cognitive or motor stimuli, have shown that negative stimuli elicit a larger brain response than positive ones. So there was a psychologist called John Cacioppo, not made up name, and the participants were shown pictures of either positive, negative, or neutral images. And the researchers observed the electrical activity in the brain when they showed negative images produced a much stronger response in the cerebral cortex than did the positive or neutral images. Because negative information causes a surge in activity in the critical information processing area of the brain, our behaviors and our attitudes tend to be shaped more powerfully by bad news experiences and information. Yeah? That is why we focus on the negative. And you wonder why negative clickbait videos are so popular. It's because it's like a fix, man. I need that bigger neural stimulus in the brain, man. So all I'm saying is, people, remember the balance of good versus the negative, the positive versus the negative. And the Stadia positive far outweighs the negative. Focus on the good in life in general. Try to focus on the good. And there's a lot of it, as I say, when it comes to Stadia. Otherwise, there would be no content for me to do this show every week, for all the Stadia podcasts to do, you know, for Bill and Lloyd to sit there on a regular basis, not only weekly, but to drop news items, sunny cloud gaming, all of that, everybody, the Stadia source, cloudy with games, rock, all of that, MM2K, all of that, Club Stadia, sort of I missed you, but all of that would have no content to talk about if there wasn't Stadia content, Stadia news, mostly positive news constantly coming. So by all means, don't be super optimistic like sunny in Philadelphia or sunny in Philadelphia or anything like that. Be aware of the negative bit and, you know, push back on it and you know, make Stadia a better place by moaning about it now and then. That's good. But in a measured way, ladies and gentlemen, and in proportion to the overwhelmingly positive. There we go. Science lecture updated. I hope you found that useful. Let's have a look at the chat. Boom, there it is, chat. Bryant is a top guy. Yes, he is. And it is a great video. Please watch it. Really, I really important you watch it. I think it's so cool. Dre says, I stopped watching the negative videos. I did as well. It's so hard not to. I sometimes film myself because somebody will tweet, oh my God, look what Ronye said again. Look what stupid Aussie laymen have been saying again, lazy laymen, you know, who can't even get Stadia in Australia, so don't even know what they're talking about. If ever two guys are talking out their arse, it's layman gaming. Absolutely. How do they feel even qualified to talk about Stadia other than reporting on the general news about Stadia? Anyway, don't get me there. See, I'm getting negative. But anyway, I no longer, early days I was there, I was, you're wrong, young mate. Here are the facts. Here's the correct, you know, that's incorrect. I think you'll find that's incorrect. You're so consistently wrong. And if you look back, I've got, you know, comments on that. Not just I'm just saying, like, you are wrong. Like, if somebody gets a fact wrong, it's not an opinion, yeah? Being wrong, someone being wrong is not an opinion, Yeah, 2 plus 2 is 4. When they tell you it's 5, they are wrong. Yeah, simples. And so there's so many times I've gone on and said that is incorrect information. That is not correct. That is wrong. But now don't bother. Yeah, exactly. Although it is hard, it's that drive for that negative stimulus that I was talking about. It's annoying. My idea is connecting Stadia with Epic Games. Interesting. I can't see. Well, actually, if I could see, I think it's a long shot. I could see if Uplay Plus as an optional service. The thing is about Epic Games are quite large, and with Tencent backing them, I think they wouldn't necessarily want to jump on someone else's cloud gaming, because I think they'd want to invest in their own eventually. So if they see the success of Uplay Plus as an option on Stadia, EA Play could also sort of say, oh, okay, we'll have an option to do that. I think it's a long shot, but you could see it as a sort of an added extra. So take, for instance, if we look at Amazon Prime, if I'm correct on Amazon Prime, you get the Amazon Prime movies and TV shows, which are bundled in with the price. You get the movies and TV shows that you can buy and rent on top. But there are other subscriptions, I think, that you can pay for on top of Amazon Prime to watch stuff through Amazon Prime. I think that is correct. So you can see that as a model potentially working. And it really comes down to a big games publisher who either decide, okay, we can't set up our own cloud streaming service like Disney did, or maybe we can, and we will give them a license for 3 years. And if it proves the business model, we'll do a Disney and take, like Disney did, and take all our properties off everybody else, off Netflix, and put them behind a paywall and launch our own streaming service. But you've got to be pretty big to do that. Epic are probably pretty big enough to do that. EA definitely big enough to do that, and I can see them contemplating that. But I think there is an in-between stage where potentially you could see Stadia as a platform in which to offer another, a subscription service to another set of games. I'm not 100% sure, but I could see it. I think I accidentally hid your message there. Want to Escape. But Want to Escape saying you can subscribe to other channels on Amazon Prime. So that's the point. So Amazon Prime don't mind having other subscription services or collective, created services sitting on top of their subscription service and providing it as a platform for those services. So you can see that happening. But equally, what we've seen in the since I work in television and video on demand, and streaming video on demand is a big thing that impacts my life in terms of my job every day and having to deal with it and stuff like that. We've seen a move from, or we're beginning to see a breakup of the services. We've already seen it with Disney Plus, seen it with Universal, I think Warner Brothers, HBO. All these titles that seem to be consolidated on either Amazon Prime or Netflix, all these big publishers and IP owners are going, hey, wait a minute, we've got enough IP and property here to probably justify setting up our own streaming service. And eventually, you're going to see that happening, probably with cloud gaming, not in the near future. But I can see if the business model works, as Take-Two CEO says, if the business model makes sense and they're big enough and have a big enough IP, then yeah, you can see them launching their own cloud services. I think most of them would have to go into partnerships, and that's why I think a partnership with Xbox, a partnership with Google, a partnership with an established cloud gaming service, which would be Xbox or Stadia, really, maybe GeForce Now, could be an option. Two Same Boy says, I think that's my suggestion. I think can be working. Amazon or Netflix can give positive options and possibilities to use streaming much biggest. I think I get what you're saying there, Two Same Boys. But that's interesting. But yeah, good thing. Yeah, look at Twitter, Facebook, Dre says. Look how much negativity is there. Of course, it's dripping in negativity because all the clickbaity titles. This is fair. Look at all the sort of downing on Xbox and stuff like that. Even though I watched a video by Alana Pierce who basically said, and she made good points about Ultimate Games Pass or about the Xbox presentation, about forget about Halo Infinite and all that and whether it was up to scratch and all that kind of stuff. Focus on the amazing fact that of all the games they announced, Ultimate Games Pass, Xbox announced last week, first party titles, they're all coming day and date to the Ultimate Games Pass. What a great offer that is to the consumer if you have an Xbox personally. But even, like some people I've spoken to, which I don't think is value just to get it just for Project xCloud Ultimate Games Pass. But that is clearly the model. And the more articles I read about it, the more research I look into it, and I mentioned it last week, the less the console is the key business strategy driving Xbox right now. I think it is secondary to them selling Ultimate Games Pass and getting a finite. Somebody asked me today in Twitter, how many subscribers do I think they need to make it work? And the thing so I went away and did some research and I looked at an MBA paper, because this is the sort of thing I do. I looked at an MBA paper on the Netflix business model. And they constantly run a negative cash flow. So basically they have to spend more money than they've got coming in effectively now, and more money in their coffers now, so they have to borrow heavily now in order to secure the IP to constantly push those subscribers. And they've got like 100 plus subscribers around the world. Xbox Games Pass has got about 10 million. 10 million subscribers is not quite enough, but there comes a point in the subscription business model, when you just do the simple maths. Say you've got 20 million subscribers. Say you've got 100 million subscribers, for easy maths, paying $10 a month. 100 million times 10, it's 1,000 million. If you're living in America, that's $1 billion. $1 billion. Let's just say $1 billion a month is coming in. So now you can see you can afford to acquire games and put them on your platform. But in order to get to that level, you need to get the big titles in, and you need to spend a lot of money, and that is the risk. Netflix that's their business model. They're constantly running at a negative cash flow because they're constantly having to invest, because you have to keep the subscribers happy. You have to keep producing new content, acquiring new content. But there comes a finite point in which, or not a minimum amount you need to make the subscription model work. And clearly Xbox are striving to that. And it's going to be a while before they hit it. But that's the risk of the subscription model. It will pay dividends, but it's a big investment risk up front. And we've seen that they're making that investment risk by acquiring all these studios over the last few years. It wasn't just so they could have exclusive titles on Xbox console, which is what everybody assumed, so that they could match PlayStation, whose business model was to sell PlayStations and therefore have exclusives, and has done very well for PlayStation. No, the clear business model for Xbox going forward is the Ultimate Games Pass, and that is what people are overlooking, and that is pretty good value to the consumer. How long they can sustain it for will be interesting, but as long as they're doing that, it means that Stadia have to up their game as well, and it's all good. And who benefits? Hopefully, while there are only one or two dominant subscriptions that you have to pay for, the consumer does. When it gets that you have to pay 28 subscriptions, then less so the consumer. But until that time, I think consumer wins. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's my thoughts, my insights, my views for this week's Stadia Monday Night Chat, episode 23. You found out about all the new games. You've been given a small lecture on neuroscience and negativity. You've been recommended some good videos. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you know when I am releasing videos and I'm going live, and hit that notification bell and make sure you hit the likes, people. It's much appreciated. Thank you for being here. As ever, a big thank you again to my channel members. Again, appreciate you. Appreciate you all spending your Monday evening, Monday afternoon, wherever it is, whatever time it is in the world where you are. Thank you from me in my space garage. As I say, I'm still working out how I'm going to redecorate the place. And I will see you around very, very soon. Goodbye!
Rage on that beat, going crazy.